Hey guys, how's it going? It's Blaze here, and welcome back to another Wizard 101 video. This video was actually supposed to be out earlier this month, but it's alright. I just had some editing difficulties. As you can see, the graphics and resolution aren't the best, but I did what I could to fix it, because before, it definitely looked worse. Basically, the only thing you can't really see well is the damage that is hit, but trust me, it's well over the amount of health that shadowwock has. So welcome to this video. We today are farming shadowwock, which is the second to last boss of Mirage. My friend here, Benjamin StormCaster, wanted to farm shadowwock because he wanted to do a level 120 champion storm, and the only way to do that is by farming shadowwock for the best boots. So basically this is a video on how to farm the fastest way shadowwock for your school boots. So shoutouts to him, and I'm going to tell you right now how to actually complete this. It's not a 100% win chance, but it's a 90% definitely. The only problem here being if he passes his enemy hits, it gives you a debuff, accuracy debuff, as well as if he does Krampus. But otherwise, everything else works out pretty fine. You do not need to rely on Shadow or Critical to do this strategy. Basically, you need two people, a Storm as your hitter. It can't be Fire since the boss is Fire, and it will waste one round, and one person to be tank, and I'm the tank. Basically, you wait until he meteors once, as you can see here, and then you hit the round after. And if you do not kill, that's okay. As long as he's pretty low, you can feint Blade into another hit before he second meteors. Once he does 2 meteors, you're basically dead. And if anything else happens, if you do not pack Shatter, for instance, I packed Shatter, you need Shatter in case he shields, then it also is a fail. Basically, come prepared. I'll show you everything. I'll show you the stats. I'll show you the deck setup. And like you can see here, if you do not have a Shadow Pip, you basically King Art, because that's the next best spell that does the most damage, and basically it kills shadowwock. So shoutouts to Benjamin for wanting to farm with me. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I did not collect the boots. But here, as you can see, now we will show you the stats. My stats, you know, my damage doesn't really matter. Overall resist 54, accuracy 26 to fire. It would be nice if you had accuracy to everything. So if you could do that, like if you have Jade Gear or whatever, you basically can do that. And, you know, stuff. Here's the deck setup. You need Indemnity, Feint, Sharpened Blade, Feint, 2 Elemental Blades, 1 for regular, 1 for Sharpened, and Dark Pact if you have it. You don't really need it. Tower Shield in case Shatter, Balance Blade, and Elemental Blade TC. Shatter for if he shields, you know. Tower in case you didn't kill first, but you don't want your Storm to die. Really not necessary. The TCs are just in case. Mainly it's for the spells. You also, if you do not have Myth Mastery, want to have a Pip deck so you can actually shatter in time. Here we're looking at Benjamin's stats. 135 over storm damage, 41 resistance overall, and 27 accuracy to storm. Basically you want around that damage to hit those high marks. 549 critical, you know, 32 armor piercing, 100 power pips. I think you would like to have 100% power pips. Definitely, shadow percentage doesn't matter. He's rocking the Malistaire gear with the Titan's boots, a damage pet. Basically, if you can get your hands on those, the Ione sword, Darkmoor Aetham, Morgant's amulet. You can even rock the ring from Darkmoor as well. Basically everything damage, and make sure you have a Pip chance deck. You really want to get for those 3 power pips, or 3 pips in general, in the first round, just so you're safe to hit. Also, for Storm, it's very important it gives you that 8 pips once you blade yourself once. It also helps you set up for an extra chance of hitting in case you don't kill. For your tank, if you don't have Myth Mastery, which I didn't at the time, very important to have 3 pips, so you can shatter right before he hits in case shadowwock shields, you know, just as a prophylactic. And basically, as you can see this round, I had to shatter because he did shield. If you fizzle your shatter when it has when you have the accuracy debuff, it's basically a failed round. So the only thing you're really that's really gonna make you fail is if you ever fizzle once. You really need the 2 to 3 blades on him, plus the feint and the 200% trap. So you have to hit on round 3 when he meteors. So damage is a better idea here, as I say. As you can see in this one, I wanted to show you, he has around 8,000 health, 6,000, my bad, 6,000 health, and it's still possible. Don't flee the match because it's not possible, because due to the damage that I showed you, if you're somewhere around there, plus if you critical, it's not really a big deal. You can still kill. So what you really need to do, he shielded himself, assuming that shadowwock was going to hit him harder, basically blade into another indemnity feint. There's really no need for reshuffle here. It's all within the rounds of 3 to 5. So, thing is, you both want to carry feint. So let me tell you his deck setup now. From what you see on the screen, basically what he carries is you want a single hit spell, 1 King Art for Storm, 1 Wrath, Rasulka's Wrath, I think that's what it's called, the Polaris Storm spell, that's a single hit. You want 1 Storm Blade in, and 1 Elemental Blade in case your tank does not do it on the first round. You do not need to pack Sharpened Blade. Pack Feint into an Indemnity in case your hit does not kill on the first round, so that way either you or him feint. You do not really need to carry Tower Shield. Also carry a small hit such as Kraken, as you can see here, to finish off the kill in 2 rounds. If you have Queen Calypso, you can do that instead as well. I heard it does the same or even more than Kraken. Basically, yeah, that's it. You don't really need heals. You don't need any auras or bubbles. If your tank can give you an extra blade, between 2 to 3, I gave him 4 this time, it will identify the kill. You don't really need a healing pet, you really just want to go for damage only. Your resist doesn't even matter. I mean, it kinda does, to an extent, but you don't need the best resist that a Storm has. The only thing is, if your tank gets a Krampus on him, or the debuff spell into fizzles. Even then, if it's 1 fizzle, there's a chance that you could still win, but if it's 2 debuffs, I don't think you will be able to. So now I'm just showing you all the times that we either kill, so those first ones are victories, using different spells. I just cut right to them. Between Rasulka's Wrath, if you get a Shadow Pip, or King Art, it really depends. You don't need to rely on critical or Shadow Pip. As long as your damage is over 125, you're good to go. Also, another good thing is King Art does give a Pierce Blade and a Storm Accuracy Blade, so if you do happen to get a debuff and your accuracy isn't that high, then it's really not a problem. Another thing is you really want to get first, but if you do happen to get second, just make sure that the time he hits, you can shatter, or if you're confident that he won't, then there's no need, just blade again. So basically, from here on out, I'm just going to show you clips of us doing rounds. Some of them will be success I did want to show some of the fails we had, because, as I said, this is not 100% fully accessible, but you can use this to your advantage because it does have a very high victory rate. A problem here is the boss has a very low drop rate of the boots, so this is a very good strategy to use if you want to go for the boots. But then again, you can also use the Kabbalist boots that are at max level right now, 125, and they do just as good. Only problem being, they have little to no resist. I forgot what the stats were. All I know is the boots are great for damage, and some critical. Now, as you can see here, sometimes you don't hit the full amount of damage you want to, and here shadowwock is stuck at almost 17,000 HP. So, unfortunately, and he put up a shield, but, you know, sometimes things just don't work out. If he does things that are not in your favor, there's no point in wasting treasure cards, or, you know, other things. You just, at this point, you basically flee, go to Caravan, restock your health and mana, and don't forget to restock your TC, and then just, you know, go in for the next match. So this was just a neat video I wanted to bring to you guys because, you know, I just find it interesting that different things can be done with certain strategies. I used to watch YouTubers that would just make strategy videos, and I just loved watching them. I also watch other strategies in other games, so it's just a fun way to make videos. I enjoy making it, and you enjoy making it. I just wanted to also shout out that he gave me the Shatter TCs, and he didn't even want me to give him the Storm TCs, so shout outs to him. You know, Shatter TCs are hard to come by now. I don't know why. They're used so much everywhere. So it's just a miracle that some of my that my ice has some of them, and he bought some at the bazaar. But my fire really does not hold any. He's not usually a tank. So shout out to Benjamin. So here is where the file actually got corrupted, but my life friend did come in and help us at a time. If you do want 3 people, the third person would likely be a life. I wanted to let you guys know that. But if you only have a storm friend, it's alright. This dungeon can be duoed. But, you know, I don't think it can be soloed because he meteors every 3 rounds. But then again, I don't know. I don't know if I would do a video on this. Probably not, because I'm not good at soloing things myself. It takes into a lot of consideration time and correct stats, possibly a death, which I do not have at max level right now. Probably won't in the distant future. But, you know, this definitely, because I do have a tank ice, and if you just find a storm friend, there you go, that will work. You can also have a life friend who will heal, and it could help make the run longer. It will last. And you can also have 4 people, which is usually what this is for. But I wanted to make this video to tell you that you can duo this easily in 3 to 5 rounds. I also wanted to point out that if you notice me talking to Benjamin Thorne in side chat, like teleport chat, I'm not exactly sure what it's called, it's because Benjamin Storm was actually banned, muted, for reasons unknown. He told me at one point, I forgot now, but I feel like it was not necessary for many people to be muted. That's a problem that we in the community have, and I think KI should definitely watch who they mute, because just by being muted, not many people leave. I understand, but due to their disadvantage of speech, I think they're not that happy, and even worse, the people who are actually banned, not a good way to keep your players in the game. Thank goodness I was never banned on the 2 accounts that I own, but I heard there was a very big banning throughout the last couple of years, and I really want to keep playing this game because there's new-ish updates that happen yearly. If they could make it faster, that would be nice, but I just enjoy the overall story of it all. So, here, as you can see, he used Kraken, but he's left at 5,000 health. He would have died with the meteor, and we do have to flee a couple of times. As we get to the end here, I try and show you a little more of the failures. Just sometimes the damage-wise doesn't work out. I don't know if King Art has like the difference of damage depending between 2 amounts, but King Art definitely gets you close, and you can definitely make it with Kraken in the second to last round. So it really depends. 3 to 5 rounds. Also, if he stuns you like he did right here, that's a disadvantage. And as you can see, even 1 blade, if you fizzle 1 blade, you could still not kill. So I recommend at least 3 blades on your attacker, Storm, the feint, and the 200% trap, and that will definite the kill. After a while, it is a matter of luck if you run out of strategy to use. If you, for instance, if you are just at the 4,000 mark, but as you can see here, you were stunned, so you couldn't blade. If you do pull a shadow, you're lucky, but if you don't and all you have is Kraken or Calypso, and you just have the feint, it may hit like that 3,500, leaving him with 1,000 health. At that point, you basically just flee.
But for now, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you, legends, after I get some flippin' sleep. God!